Hey lovely people, and welcome back to the Empower Journal, a space to create the life you want to live. I'm your host Dev. Join me today's episode exclusively for you on Amazon Music and Spotify. So, today is a special one again because it's not just me here. We have got a guest joining us for an interview episode. Someone whose story and voice I can't wait for you to hear. It's one of those chats that stays with you. Okay, today's guest, she's someone I've been genuinely inspired by. Kadambari Umapati, the powerhouse behind WEDO. And it's just not a platform, it's a movement that brings women together to connect, create and rise side by side. But what truly stands out of Kadambari isn't just what she's building. It's like how she's doing it. She's real and it is very much reflected in the work that she's doing. What I love most about her is how honest and grounded she is. Because she recently wrote something in LinkedIn that really stayed with me. And it goes like this. Clarity doesn't always come from plans. Sometimes it comes from sitting with the kiosk long enough to understand your own rhythm. And that hit me hard. Because sometimes we actually think we need to have it all set or figured out. Maybe we just need to slow down and listen to ourselves, I think. So in this episode, we dive into the story behind WEDO, the messy magic of collaboration, and what it really means to go from burnout to truly belonging. Plus, stick around for a rapid fire round you don't want to miss because it gets really fun this time. So without much delay, our amazing guest on the Empower Journal podcast, Ms. Kadambari, first of all, so excited to have you here. A big warm welcome to you and huge thanks.
Hi Devaki, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here on this show. So I am excited to share most of the times when such interviews happen. These are reminders of paths that we've crossed and the resilience that we've built over time. So I've always loved such programs which enables us to reflect on the journey. Sometimes our current problems probably would have had solutions in the past, and these are times that we figure that out. Once again, thank you for the opportunity.
I love how you put that actually. So simple yet so strong. Okay, before we deep dive, Kadambari, one quick one. How's your day been so far?
Day has been good. As usual at times, as usual, too many tasks, but today all over the place. But yes, one thing at a time, figuring things out.
Great. So let's rewind a bit. What sparked WEDO? Was it a moment, a frustration, or just a gut feeling?
So it was all together because I started WEDO after failing 2 businesses. And after failing 2 businesses, that's when I realized I had certain things going for me and certain things which I still needed to figure out. So things that went for me in the past, where any business that I took, I was successful. Those businesses were financially successful. There was progress. But where I failed in both my cases were partnership incompatibility. So one big lesson from both my businesses were, not all businesses fail because of financial mishaps. It's also about certain non-financial decisions you end up failing. So that was one of the reasons, one of the hypotheses, a ground foundation from where I went into IIM to educate myself. I was frustrated at that point because when everything goes right, what is going wrong was my question. And I went into IIM, and that's where I figured out, in 20 days I had to figure out a business idea and present. So that was when I was writing down a problem statement, took my own problem. Probably if I had the right direction and the right guidance, that would have actually saved so many years, probably a decade of my experiments. And that's how WEDO happened.
So that's such a fresh perspective, Kadambari. So we hear that word collaboration thrown around like glitter, but you have actually built a platform that lives it. So what does and how does collaboration really look alike to you? Has it gone ever sideways? Because I feel people think collaboration is always pretty, but it's beyond that, I believe.
Collaboration is actually a very, very fantastic tool, but it comes with a lot of efforts from every corner. I mean, just like any business, right? Because it's about two different brands or people coming together to collaborate, and with their own skill sets. There will be certain conflicting areas, there will be some complementing areas, understanding where they complement, where they conflict, and coming to complete confidence, and then drafting a framework and coming together. This takes some time, a lot of trust, and a principled approach. But if we have that, we have it all. But unfortunately, why collaborations fail is they don't understand this process. We fail to understand this process. We think we come together, we want to immediately have magic, and also the intention of two collaborators can never be personal win. So a collaborative mindset is first thinking on both the angles. You have to think from your shoe as well as from the collaborator's shoe. So when that to arrive there requires a lot of understanding about the entire ecosystem itself, right? It's more to do like a marriage. So it needs some patience and it needs work. It's work in progress.
Speaking of that, so like in spaces like WEDO, where the collaboration is at the core, but what happens when collaboration challenges power, be it ego or even comfort zone? Like how do you navigate that?
So see, again, nobody can navigate it, and all that we can do is tell them what comes with collaboration, the pros and the cons. I think if you get it down to business or collaboration, you need to understand that everything has its pro and con, and understand that all the questions that you asked, right? These are not questions that need to be answered when something goes wrong. These are questions that need to be answered even before you decide to collaborate and sign those dotted lines.
Okay, so Kadambari, let's shift the gears for a while now. I always wanted to ask this with all the women leaders around. We are always told to keep pushing and do more, which can get really exhausting, right? Have you ever hit a point where you just felt completely burnt out? What actually helped you to come out of that and feel more like yourself again? See, the reason behind this question is, this is a problem like everybody, like every woman goes through, but that has not been discussed much.
So here, in my decade of completely working with women, I understand something. For women, it's definitely a different world. So when it comes to collaboration, it actually is a very, very important tool for a woman than any other, than the opposite gender, because a woman's career itself runs parallel to her life events, right? So no matter what, if she wants to have the best of both worlds, she has to slow down at one place to speed up in the other place. So understanding this dynamic of a woman, if you actually see when she tries to do the opposite, not understanding, and when she thinks she can do it all at all times, that is where she burns out. But if she's going to adapt her business and her lifestyle or her career, understanding these different phases of her business, of her life, then there will not be burnout because she's already ready for what's coming.
Yeah, that's invisible load, and it's so real, I have to say. And talking about this, how does WEDO support women in making that same shift from hustle to wholeness?
Yeah, we get them to understand where they stand and how they should be structuring their business model and at what phase. Women are, or like any other entrepreneurs today, have that FOMO of building pitches and scalable business models, identifying themselves as startups and going and representing themselves in a show like Shark Tank. And they are lost about why they are what they are or who they are, and the root reason or fundamental reason of why they are even wanting to start what they are starting, right? So this is the problem, Devaki. And this is where we help women. We help them discover, identify their life goals and align it to their business goals, and help them create that model and engine which will help them achieve that without disturbing anything: family, life, everything, and career.
Got it. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are actually nodding along right now with what you said. So I have one more question for you. So the recent post that you've shared about sitting with the chaos, that really hit home. I would like to understand your relationship with chaos evolved and how it evolved as a founder.
Okay, see, I think all of us would have been through these things, not just in business, even in personal life. Sometimes people, when you are at your most vulnerable moments, probably when there is a situation where you're helpless, and sometimes help comes in, and sometimes the help comes in with a personal agenda. So that's happened to me couple of times in my entire in business. When I was in business, it's happened at least 4 times, and I don't regret it. Every time it's all about, you are always can't, we are humans, we have to trust people, but there has to be you need to know what you're trusting and who you're trusting. And the question is, how would you figure out? I think some people are blessed with that that understanding about the opposite person, but it's easy when you sit in business. But when you actually open up on a personal level with few people, I think you just have to learn it the hard way. Just have to have your eyes, ears, everything open. And I don't want to leave a note to people saying that don't trust anybody. No, I wouldn't say that, right? But trust yourself first. You're the best judge. You have the power to understand when things are going wrong, but you choose to negate it or avoid it because you don't want conflicts, right? But it's okay to pretty much act mature, but you really need to see through things, see through people, and evaluate. Separate business from friendship. That is something which is very, very important. Your business decisions cannot be influenced by a friendship that you have with someone, and you will really waste a lot of time there. You will be losing a lot of time there when you actually confuse your personal relationship and your business decisions.
Okay, I feel like this is something we all need to hear today. People often tell women how they should lead, be confident, but also not too loud at the same time. Also be strong, but still remain soft. This is kind of confusing, right? Have you ever felt that kind of pressure? How do you deal with that, and what does it mean leading your way?
So basically, first thing, women, where to start is most of their question. First thing is, sit and understand what you really want out of life. Okay, a success narrative is different for different people. For some of them it is about turnovers, for some of them it's about assets that they have, for some of them it's about number of lives that they've impacted, for some of them it's about anything, for the number of saris that they've collected. So success is subjective and it's different for everybody. Your success doesn't have to be defined by what's impressed you about someone else. It's about having a coffee with yourself. You just have to sit and you need to figure out what is that is going to make you proud of yourself. What is that you want out of yourself? If she's going to be clear about what her destination is, all the inputs just becomes add-ons. So she knows what to take and what not to. She'll not be going on different directions based on different people. And that's where most of us lose a lot of years. We want to make everybody around happy. We want to keep our husband happy. We want to keep our parents happy. We want to keep our in-laws happy. Finally, we are lost in the whole thing, right? So it's about what makes you happy. But having said this, again, don't go run away from your responsibilities. There are responsibilities that we as women have to own. Yeah, our family is our responsibility. Responsibility doesn't mean your daily chores, right? Making sure food is on the table, probably even your husband can check on it, but making sure that everything happens, right? Sharing responsibilities, also teaching your counterpart their share of responsibilities is, and one of them have to take a lead. And if your husband is from a generation where you've got to take a lead, you can take the lead, but make sure the food is on the table, but it's not necessary that you should serve it by yourself. So that's being responsible. And yeah,
Exactly, because that responsibility you describe, that is so powerful, because the quiet burnout, that's the burnout behind the scenes, and it's so relatable, and many of us feel that way but actually couldn't express.
either women are doormats or completely selfish in the name of self-love. Okay, strike a balance.
Thank you for saying that with such honesty, Kadambari. There is so much of wisdom in what you just shared, and softness too. So, all right. So, time to keep it little lighter and fun and fast. So, no overthinking, only gut answers. So, here we get started with the rapid fire. Okay, so you have totally 6 questions in that,
Okay, sure.
and it has to come in quickly. Okay.
Okay,
A word that describes you at 22.
at 22, naive.
Naive. Okay. First thing you let go of to protect your peace, because it's priceless, right?
Expectations.
Perfect. Okay. A quote that feels like your personal anthem right now.
Be yourself, the world will adjust.
I am framing that one. So good, Kadambari. Okay. Your go-to comfort show or snack whenever life feels heavy for you.
Big Bang Theory.
Good one. Okay. So what does success feel like today? Or it's not look like, feel like.
It's work in progress. I mean, success to me is every day. If you do what you wanted to do, or if it's keeping you busy towards your ultimate goal, that's success to me.
It gets to the heart of it. And here we are with the last rapid fire question. So how would you explain WEDO in 3 emojis?
Fire, heart, and cheers.
Hey, that's lovely. Thank you. That was such a joy, Kadambari. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Devaki. That was fantastic.
Kadambari, you have reminded us that we don't need to have it all figured out to start. So guys, if you're listening and this episode gave you something to think about or made you feel more seen, please share it with a friend, because we all need reminders that we are not in this alone. So until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep building what matters. Don't forget us to follow us on Spotify and Amazon Prime. Check out on their other episodes as well. This is Dev signing off. Nandri.